Hey y'all, so today I want to introduce you to my girl. I don't have a name for her yet, but she's in India. This is a female Bengal tiger. I'm in love with large kitties, and she is beautiful. Mwah! I love her. Anyway, did you all ever notice that the things that society pushes you to do are things that could destroy you? Yep. Things that society pushes you to do can destroy you. Pushing you into marriage. You should get married. You should get married. Oh my God, you should get married. Why? Does he love you? Does he respect you? Would he fight an alligator for you? Or would he run away and leave you on your own? Because nowadays that's what they do. All right? If you marry the wrong person, you are in prison. You are in psychological and physical prison. Anything that happens to you is on you. Your health is your problem. Whether you eat or not is your problem. They expect you to do for them all the time, and they don't expect to do anything for you because most men are narcissistic. I don't care what nobody says. When you cater to boys and you kiss their ass and you cater to them as a teenager and you cater to them as an adult, and the whole world caters to men, okay? Men are given free passes on everything. Common sense should dictate if you treat someone like royalty, they're going to convince themselves that they are royalty. And the only thing that you could do for them is to cater to them like everyone else does. And if you don't, you're out of here. Or they'll stay with you and make your life a living hell because you're dealing with someone who's unhealthy. Okay? So, marrying the wrong person, oh please. You don't want this, okay? And I'm talking from experience, okay? You should have children. You should have children. It's another thing people push you. Have kids. Do you know how many mothers are literally having psychological meltdowns because they had kids? Even the ones who are married are having to take care of the kids by themselves. So, yes, they're married, but they have to do everything by themselves, and it's breaking them down. Breaking them way down. And they're crying, and they are just not doing well at all. Okay, not doing well at all. Crying and talking about, I don't really want to end myself, but I never saw myself being in this position because obviously being a parent is a 24-hour job. And society, because they kiss men's asses and encourage men to be narcissistic, a lot of husbands are given a free pass if they don't help their wife. Oh, he's a man. He's watching football because that's what men do. He's a man. You the mother. You're supposed to do everything. I don't know why men are treated like they don't have to do nothing, but they are trained that way ever since they're little. And we wonder why there's so many toxic males running around. Well, because they've had their asses kissed and they've never had to step up to the plate. They never had to. Okay? Let's see. You should get married. You should have children. You could be at a family function with your man, boyfriend or whatever, husband, boyfriend, whatever. And the older women in your family can be your worst enemy in a sense of not because they're being mean to you, but because they're training you as a woman, young lady, training you that you're supposed to cater to him. Because again, society caters to men. Did you give him a plate? Did you feed him? How's he doing today? Is he all right? Nobody encourages men to do the same for women, so they don't know how to do that. There are very select few that will look out for a woman and make sure that she eats. Don't worry about getting me a plate, babe. Let me make you a plate. But our society, our grandmothers and great-grandmothers, and all the way through all the generations have been in boot camp to learn to do for men, do for them, and you sacrifice yourself and throw yourself under the bus, because that's what a good woman does. So that societal brainwash is your worst enemy. It's your worst enemy. So we have to break those generational bullshit, okay? The bullshit ideology of do for him, do for him, do for him, do for him. It don't matter what he beat you up. Well, I mean, cover it up with makeup and be by his side. Sometimes men get mad. Good woman will be by his side. There is so much toxic crap that has been fed through the generations, and then we wonder why women have so many problems with men. You should be his ride or die. No matter what happens, you should be by his side. That's what a good woman does. You know what? No. Absolutely no. We are breaking generational curses. We are breaking the bullshit that our grandparents were fed. Do for him, do for him, do for him. That's what you're supposed to do. Just be quiet and do it. Excuse me? There are two people here. Not one, two. And one person is not irrelevant. All right? We got to break that stupid shit. If a man cares about you, he wants to make sure you eat. All right? Now, with that being said, sometimes food is used as a manipulation. Baby, why don't you come over instead of us going on a date? Why don't you come here? I'll make you some dinner. The only reason he's doing that is because he wants the draws. He wants to make dinner for you, and then he wants you for dessert. And he saves money because he don't have to take you out. Especially when y'all first starting to see each other. That's not a date going over somebody's house. And some women have gone to the wrong man's house and they end up losing their life. Ain't no man worth me dying for. I don't know about you all, but ain't no man worth me dying for. You don't know that if you go to his house, that's what he's trying to do? Try and get some draws? You didn't know that? I remember some dude said to me, why don't you come over here and we'll watch a movie or something? The emphasis is on or something. All right, you gotta listen to what they're saying and even what they're not saying. The emphasis is or something. We could watch a movie, or I could throw your legs in the air. I mean, that's just, preferably, the latter. Let's do the or something. Get out of here. Get the freaking hell out of here. Another thing that is not talked about very much, but another thing is some dudes will tell you, or they will do, erratic driving. Henderson's gay ass did that stupid shit when we were having an argument in the car because he was acting like a total dick like he usually does. All right? He perpetrated that he's a careful driver, that he drives carefully and all this in the beginning. But when he gets pissy, which is every 5 minutes, then he'll get mad, especially if you have an argument in the car, which is one of the worst places to have an argument. All that energy builds and it has nowhere to go. And we had an argument, and because he was pushed against the wall, there's no place to go, you're in a car, he started driving erratically. He started driving fast. Because that motherfucker doesn't care about your safety. He don't give a shit if he dies, he don't care either. I'm going to drive like a fool because I can. Okay? I'm going to do it because I can. He don't give a damn about your health. He don't give a damn about his health. Or you get hurt or killed. He doesn't give a shit. I know a guy on a mating site, because that's all it's for. And he tells you early in the conversations, the first conversations, I drive fast. You know what he's telling you? Which I found creepy. Why would you say that? And why would you be almost bragging about it? I drive real fast, just to let you know. He's telling you right out the gate, your safety is not important to him. You are not important. He don't even care about his own safety. That's why he's driving like that. And you're supposed to accept that he drives like a loon, and you're supposed to get in a vehicle with him. He told you right out the gate he's irresponsible. He told you right out the gate. You are irrelevant. You're going to be in my car. I'm going to drive erratic, and that's just the way it's going to be. And you're stupid if you sign up for that, because he told you right out the gate that I don't give a shit if we get wrapped around a tree. He's telling you that right out the gate. And if you're simple and you don't pay attention to that and you get in a car with him and you get killed, you kind of signed up for that because he told you that in the beginning. So I was never going to go out with him. And I didn't talk to him for like a long time, and then I didn't really remember who he was. Like several months later, we got to talking again, and I forgot who he was. And then I remembered because he said, I drive real fast. So he tells every single person that I'm going to put your life at risk when you're in my vehicle. I'm going to put your life at risk, just to let you know. So it's totally up to you to forge ahead if you want to, but I'm telling you right now, he doesn't give two damns about you or himself. Because he could die too. He don't care. We got to stop. We got to start paying attention. Look at what they say. Look at what they don't say. Get rid of what you were told back in the day. Always be there for your man. Nobody's perfect. You know, he's angry. That's because he had a bad childhood, or he been through a lot, you know, and this and that. And there's always excuses. That's the reason why they're narcissistic, because society and family members and everybody else makes excuses for them. If they go off, he has a right to be mad. If you go off, you're a psychotic bitch on her period. Did I go there? Yes, the hell I did. Again, men are catered to. They get a free pass. They could do whatever they want, when they want, the way they want. And there's always an endless list of excuses why it's okay when a man does it. If he screams and yells, he's assertive. If a woman screams and yells, she's crazy. Okay? Men get a free pass everywhere you look. They get a free pass. It's time for us to snatch their passes, throw them in the fire, and burn them to smithereens, because you're not getting no free passes over here. And we wonder why they're narcissistic, and we wonder why they're entitled, because they are trained to be entitled. And we are trained as young girls and teenagers to cater to their every need. And you have women encouraging other women to spread for guys. Why? Because men deserve it. Because they're getting another free pass. Don't be playing with that man. He's a real man. He ain't like them boys that you used to. He's got desires. In other words, in between lines, you know what you're going to have to do as a woman. You're going to have to spread for him because he's a man and he ain't playing. Excuse you and everybody else like you? No. Do I have hooker across my forehead? I do not. Everything that you are brainwashed to believe is a lie and detrimental to you. We were also taught when we were growing up, put butter on a burn. That's the worst thing you could fucking do. The worst! You know what the butter does? It seals in the heat. You were told you couldn't swim if you were on your girl thing and you had a tampon in and you can't swim. Yes, the hell you can. There's so much bullshit that we were taught that's a total lie or total destruction. Marry a doctor. You got to get with somebody with a lot of money, okay? An accountant or a doctor. You know how many of them are sociopaths? Who have no conscience. They're extremely smart, but they have no conscience. And you gonna let your family push you into marrying somebody like that? Do they hate your guts or something? They're not going to tell you the other part. They're going to tell you what you should do, but they're not going to tell you the result of that. They're also not going to tell you that these business owners or these doctors or these extremely successful people have a lot of women. Are they going to tell you that? Why are they pushing you to marry a doctor or whoever, a business owner, entrepreneur? Are they going to tell you that a lot of them have a lot of women? Hell no. They're just going to push you into doing it because he has a lot of money. Well, women are attracted to money. So you think you're the only woman that's going after him? She knows he's got a lot of money. Another thing that they'll say, which isn't true, rich people want to marry other rich people. That may be true a lot of the times. That is not always true. I knew of a guy in Florida who owned a series of car dealerships. So he had money coming out of his ears, and his wife ain't never worked a job in her life. She ain't never worked a job in her life. She ain't got no job experience. She don't know how to say, "Thank you for calling such and such company. What can I do for you?" She don't even know how to do that. She ain't never had a goddamn job. And she didn't come from money. So not every rich person marries a rich person. That's a load of cockamamie bullshit. Okay? We were taught a lot of brainwashed lies, and we were trained to do the wrong thing. We were trained to be our own worst enemy. When I see women online, for example, these mothers, even the married ones, they're single mothers because he sits on his walnuts and watches a football game, and he doesn't raise a finger to help with the children because he figures, I stuck my pecker in you, I helped you make a baby, that's all I have to do as a parent. He may not say it, but he damn sure acts like it because he was trained that women are supposed to kiss his ass. So they will not bend over for their wife. They won't. Now, for those who do, kudos to you. This does not apply to you, so don't be getting up in arms. This don't apply to you. But there's a lot of married women, single and married women, who are crying and hysterical and at the end of their rope because they have to do everything for the children. They have to work a full-time job and take care of the kids, or their full-time job is taking care of the kids. The husband doesn't help because husbands are taught your job is to work and go home and sit on your butt and put your feet up. They are trained to do that. It doesn't make any sense. So we were taught poisonous crap. We were taught a lot of shit that is only going to be to our detriment. It's not going to work in our favor. We got to break all that. We got to smash it right into the ground. I feel bad for all those women that are hysterical because they're raising kids by themselves and they're exhausted and they're depressed and they have limited resources. And like I said, even if they're married, they're still raising kids by themselves. They're a single married mother. And I've talked about this a long time ago. Women in certain countries and in certain cultures have to destroy themselves. Are there some situations where men will do it? Yes, but it's rare. It's rare. I know of a culture, I'm not sure which country, but every time a person in the family dies, the women in the family are supposed to literally cut off a finger. I'm not kidding. Research it if you think I'm lying. You think they're going to do that for men? Make men do that? Hell no. No. We've got women, girls, who are mutilated down there. Do you think men get mutilated down there? They do not. And do not sit here and talk about circumcision as a mutilation because it is not. It is for sanitary purposes. A lot of men don't know how to wash their ass, and you expect them to pull that skin back and wash? You must be out of your goddamn tree. You're lucky he washed under his armpits today. Okay? Please. Please. A lot of adults do not have good hygiene. It is for hygienic purposes. It's a medical procedure. It is not a situation where you are mutilated between your legs and your family members pin you down and that's done to you. Don't get me started. Do not get me fucking started on that. There is no comparison. And the women are not smart enough to say, this shit was done to me. I'm not going to do that to my daughter. It's a cultural thing, and all the women in the family do it to all the girls. Okay? It's called FGM, female genital mutilation. So women are treated like they are toxic, trash, and boys are treated like they are gods, small g God, because nobody can beat big G God except God. Okay? This brainwash has got to stop. These lies that we were told has got to stop. We got to bust through the lies. You listen to people push you into marriage and having a baby, and those decisions might follow you for the rest of your life because they were the worst decisions ever. There are people, I'm on a roll, there are people who've gotten a divorce and the father decided, oh, I'll fix your ass. You don't want to put up with my toxic shit no more? How dare you? How dare you? So he will eliminate his children to prove a point. Because he knows that will destroy her for the rest of her life. I got to hurt you the worst way I can. I never loved y'all no way, so it's easy for me to eliminate my children. Okay? Travis Decker, I believe is his name. He's been on a run ever since he eliminated all 3 of his daughters. Okay? That's the only thing we haven't heard growing up. Boys taught that if you don't like your wife anymore, or you don't like your children anymore, it's okay for you to eliminate them. That's the only thing they haven't been taught. But they've been taught it indirectly by kissing their feet and doing for them and doing for them and doing for them. How often, I'm on a goddamn roll, how often do you hear family members say, did you get her a plate? You know she twists her ankle. Did you get her a plate? To the man. You ain't gonna hear that because it's her job to hobble her ass over there on crutches to get him a goddamn plate. Fuck that shit. No more. No more. You do not keep treating people like gold when they treat you like you're aluminum. We're done with it. We're done. Either show some respect and act like you've got some goddamn sense, and it has to be reciprocal, or kick rocks. Sick and tired of the one-way bullshit. And there was a young lady I seen on a video, and she said, she was talking about men. She said, a lot of y'all are mentally ill, and you need to get your ass in therapy. We've been to therapy. A lot of us have been to therapy. But you don't want to go. You need to get your ass in therapy like the women do so that you can be a healthier person in your relationship. Hello? Exactly. Exactly. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And when dudes want to get insulting, y'all must be lesbians because you don't want to be bothered with us. Why is that a bad thing? Considering how you act and you don't know how to act, and considering that you're being insulting, you're just proving by being negative and insulting, you're just proving that you should remain single the rest of your life. There was a pastor, I'm going there, I don't give a shit. There was a pastor of a church, he's chocolate, and I guess he got an obsession with women's boobs or something. He was talking about how women don't take care of themselves physically, and that's why men are not attracted to you. Is that biblical, or are you just making that shit up? So he said, does anybody want to volunteer to come up here? A lady volunteered to come up there, and he said, I didn't make her come up here. She volunteered. You know what that means? That means, this is supposed to be a pastor of a church. That means that when I insult her, she asked for it because she volunteered to come up here. I didn't make her get out of her seat. She came up here willingly. Okay? He didn't say that, but he inferred it by saying she came up here on her own. All right? So, first thing he says when she walks up, you need to lose weight and you need to get a better bra. Why are you staring at her boobs to the point where you know if she needs a bra or not? And then he goes on this page of, I took my wife to get a better fitting bra, and it wasn't that expensive, which is a lie, because if you have to have a custom-made bra, it's going to cost you money, all right, $100, maybe more. So he doesn't know what the freaking hell he's talking about. But I took her to get her first bra at one of those places that has, lingerie and this, and I got her fitted with a proper bra. He's got an obsession with boobs. That's what the freaking hell that is. So he's so well versed on boobies that he knows he could probably tell by putting his hand in your boob what size bra you should have. Okay, because why are you looking at other women's breasts and making it public that you do that? You're weird. You're sick, and he's probably been cheating. Like, that's not an unusual thing. There was another person who, let me see. He's supposedly a pastor too. He's a white boy. He's supposedly a pastor too. And he was talking about y'all gonna end up with 30 cats and you're gonna be having all kinds of STDs. Excuse you, you horny dog? What are you talking about? So if a woman is deciding not to be involved with men, she's going to be running around screwing men and catch diseases from everybody. Look, bitch, the reason we're alone is because of that pissy attitude. The reason we're alone is because we're not sex starved like you are. Why would you automatically jump to that page? Like, you can't be celibate and single. You have to be screwing everything standing up. And he's supposedly a pastor too. These pastors need to get fired. And the sad part is they have people following them all the time. And believing everything that comes out their mouth. You need to get cracked in the mouth and you need to get fired. And I don't mean in a nice way. You need to be picked up like a suitcase and thrown out the door. The absolute nerve, the absolute audacity. Their hatred could not be more obvious. Because you can't be single and celibate. That's not going to happen. They can't be celibate is the problem. Unless it's by force. Women don't want to be bothered with your ass because you act like an incel. That's not an aphrodisiac to a smart woman. These are pastors. None of what you said is biblical. None of what you said is kind, warm, and loving. Nothing of what you said is, hey, we need to show love and care and support to each other. You coming out your ass talking all kinds of shit. You need to get cracked in the mouth and thrown out the door. Period. Just because it was taught to you and just because it was ingrained, that does not mean that that is reality. It could be the worst thing that ever happened to you, but you're following what you were trained, what you were indoctrinated to believe, like a cult. Take care of your man. Be by his side. Be by his side. If he cheats on you, you got to understand men have needs. I ain't trying to hear that bullshit. You know how many men cheat and give their wife HIV? And let me tell you something else. Let me tell you something else. There are female gynecologists or I guess male gynecologists will see it too. A lot of their women patients who have STDs are married. And they weren't cheating. Their husbands were. Okay, I've heard that from a couple of GYNs. They said the same thing. Most of their female patients with STIs, they're married. And their husbands were sticking other people. Sexually transmitted disease or sexually transmitted infections. Most of those women are married. But society's pushing you to get married. Oh, yeah, let's jump right on that. How about we don't? I love you guys. Take care.